To begin your project, you will need to estimate your stone quantities. When you begin your project, you will need to determine the total square footage of stone to order. To calculate the number of flat stones, multiply the base width by the height. Make sure to subtract any windows and doors by using the same formula and subtracting the two amounts. When calculating the lineal feet for corners, you will want to measure your total lineal feet. Keep in mind that 1 lineal foot of corners equals approximately 1/2 square foot of flat stone, as you'll see in the next diagram. Your tools list will be as follows: hammer, level, staple gun, whisk broom, wheelbarrow, hoe, hock and trowel, and additional trowel. For cutting, carborundum blade or diamond blade, masonry saw, circular saw, table saw, tile saw or hand grinder, wide mouth nippers, hatchet, safety glasses, dust mask, grout bag, metal jointing tool, or wooden stick. The most common type of installation is over a sheathing surface. Sheathing can be wallboard, paneling, sheetrock, plywood, foam board, etc. With any sheathing surface, you will need to first apply a vapor barrier. When covering the sheathing with a weather-resistant barrier, make sure it is waterproof building paper or a vapor barrier conforming to your local building codes. The vapor barrier needs to be applied horizontally with the top layers overlapping the bottom layers by a minimum of 2 inches. Once the surface has been covered with the vapor barrier, install a 2.5-pound diamond mesh expanded metal lath. Use a galvanized lath for exteriors. However, a non-galvanized lath may be used for interior applications. Look close and you will notice the lath has cups. Make sure the cups are facing upwards. The lath should feel rough when moving the hand down the lath and smooth when going upward. Installing the lath in the right direction will prevent mortar from sagging. Continuously wrap the metal lath a minimum of 16 inches around all inside and outside corners. When working with mortar, it is crucial to have the right mixture to ensure a proper bond. For grouted and overgrouted applications, a Type N or Type S mortar is recommended. Proper mixture is important so no clumps are obtained and so the mixture is not too wet or too dry. It should be mixed to a workable consistency. A good way to test your mixture is to scoop a portion of the mixture onto your trowel. When holding the trowel sideways, the mortar should cling to the trowel, and with a quick shake, the mortar should slide right off. Once the sheathing has been wrapped completely with lath, you can begin mixing the mortar. Once the mortar is at the right consistency, apply about a 1/2 inch thick coat of mortar across the entire lath surface. Before the scratch coat is set, use a comb to rake the surface. This will give your scratch coat grooves and will create a good bonding surface for the stone to adhere. Once the mortar is set, you will be ready to apply the stone. Once the scratch coat has dried, you can begin marking the area to apply your stones. You will start at the top and mark at a 1-foot increment, and then you will draw a chalk line across the surface area. This will allow you to keep the stones level and horizontal. Now that you have finished marking your wall, you are now ready to begin laying stone. The first technique is a standard joint, and this is achieved by laying each stone roughly 1 finger width apart from each other. Follow your chalk line along the wall to make sure that your stones are level. The next technique is called dry stacked. Dry stack joints are accomplished by dry fitting each stone prior to installation. Each piece is laid with virtually no joint. Even though you've used mortar to set the stone to the surface, when complete the finished look will appear as though no mortar was used to install the stone. Once you are ready to grout, use a grout bag to fill the joints with mortar. You need to force grout into any voids. The tip of the grout bag should be cut to accommodate the size of the joints. The mortar should be between too wet and too dry. It's important that the mortar be applied without air pockets and filled completely to the substrate. After grouting the joints, check to see if your mortar is ready before striking. The normal wait time is about 30 to 60 minutes. Push your finger into the mortar. It should be firm yet give way. This is a good indication that you're ready to strike the mortar and whisk away the debris. Use a wooden or metal striking tool to rake out excess mortar to the desired depth while at the same time forcing mortar into the joints to seal the edges. Use a whisk broom to smooth and clean away loose mortar from the joints and stone face. Mortar color additives can be used to enhance the look of the stone. They should be pre-mixed with the water prior to mixing into the mortar. This will allow for a consistent color blend. The grout techniques and color additives can be just as important as laying the stone itself. For more information, contact Stone Mill Products, Bixby, Oklahoma, 918-812-4438, info@stonemillproducts.com.